Hi everyone, Tom here, and I'm joined by Greg Lobanov. Greg had a Kickstarter for Beastieball. I'll let Greg describe it, but it was a successful Kickstarter. Greg, how has it been since the Kickstarter, and would you like to describe the game a little bit for us?
Sure. So Beastieball, it's a turn-based volleyball RPG where you coach a sports team of monsters. And yeah, I mean, things have been awesome since the Kickstarter. We got a lot of really positive reception. Before that time, the game had been totally secret. We were really nervous about it. We were working really hard, but we just didn't know people were going to like it. So everyone is like really energized about it now. There's still a lot of work to do, but I think, yeah, it's been feeling really exciting, basically, knowing that people are excited for the game.
Where did you get the idea for sort of basically Pokémon and volleyball, like the inspiration behind it?
The thing I'm most excited about was the idea of building a team, like collecting characters with different personalities and finding ways to make them work together. So the game was kind of built on that, and the kind of monster Pokemon-ish thing is a really, really good metaphor to do that kind of gameplay in, because you see a creature, you like know right away if you like them or not, and you know the things about their strengths and weaknesses, and so yeah, that's the part that we were most excited about. And yeah, sports, like building a sports team seemed like the most natural thing to build a team for, so yeah.
One thing when I was playing the demo, I noticed like you can get a point by simply, you don't have to hit the other Pokemon, like you can just get it by they miss the ball. What was the thing of that, and like later on will it get to be a lot of planning and abilities? And will that be very rare later on in the game?
Like within skill levels of the game, when people get better, obviously they start knowing how to block the lanes and stuff. But then once you get like really, really good, people start doing weird mind game stuff where they know that you know that I'm probably gonna guard the lane, so I won't even bother to guard it. I'll just stay back and do something more valuable. So then there's like a lot of weird mind games happen where sometimes you'll win a point just by like reading the other person's strategy. Yeah, so it's one of those things you just have to keep in mind. It doesn't happen that often, but when it does, it can be like very crushing.
And the game too, it starts off kind of like a nature preserve being blocked off. Is there kind of a message about the environment that you might be adding into the game, or more about like the teamwork of the Beasties?
All of it is part of it. I mean, there's so many different like things that we're excited about that we want to work into the game, but environmentalism is definitely another aspect of it, especially because, yeah, we're doing stuff with like actual animals and creatures that, like in this world, these creatures just play sports in the wild. That's like how they're happiest. So a lot of the game is kind of about that relationship. Like they're naturally playing sports. You're a person coming in and like kind of trying to coach them and work together with them, and like we're just, I don't know, all that relationship stuff I think is interesting.
You've had fantastic stories with Wandersong and Chicory. What's it like been creating the story for this game?
Definitely a new challenge, because the main character is a silent protagonist, so there's not like a really clear, like, you know, it's about you put yourself in the game, and it's open world as well. You can go and do things in any order. So there's been a lot of challenges in writing the story that were not in the other games, but I'm really excited about the things that we can do in this game that we couldn't have done before. So yeah, it's gonna feel really different, but I'm very excited about it. Like I'm just scripting the final boss last week, and I'm been thinking a lot about like how it's all feeling, and I'm excited for people to see how it shaped out.
You also have multiplayer in this game, so it's not like other ones where it just ends as single player. What's that been like designing the multiplayer for this?
It's honestly like this, everything about this is a dream project. I wanted to do so many of these things for so long. It's been very, very challenging, but yeah, designing the multiplayer was really, really fun and gratifying for me. It actually was the first thing we did. Before making RPG, before making a story, we like had a bunch of creatures and stats, and we were play testing just like almost a board game version of it, where just like what is it like to play against someone else, and then everything else has been constructed to like build players up to that experience and to make sure that that's really solid and that everything that builds up to it is solid. But yeah, very, very fun. Honestly, really, really fun. Challenging, but fun.
Well, on another challenge, I'd like to just point out that what I read and surprised that despite it being 3D, it's made in Gamemaker, which is very 2D. What's that been like?
Yeah, challenging. I mean, I just love Gamemaker so much. And like early on when we, you know, especially when we didn't really know what the game was going to be, we were trying out ideas. It's just so natural for me to work in Gamemaker, so I was using it to build ideas, and we tried a couple things that got thrown out, but then once we had something we liked, it was in Gamemaker, and it was just really hard to make the decision to like, I don't know, throw it out and start something else. And I'll say I did try to use Unity for like a week, and I hated it so much. So I just came crawling back to Gamemaker, and I was like, I'm gonna do it here. We figured it out.
Very impressive. In Beastieball, there's Beasties. There's a lot of different designs. Do you suggest ideas, or does a character designer come up with them? Do you have a favorite?
Yeah, my favorite is this guy right here. Web Bounce, the clown spider. In fact, when we started working on the game, I was saying, I really want to put a clown spider in the game, and the lead artist was like, absolutely not. I will not do that. That is a terrible idea. But I kept fighting every day, whispering clown spider to her, and eventually she relented and we got a clown spider in the game, and I think everyone agrees that they're amazing. But yeah, I basically have some ideas I put in, but we have a lot of people on the team who kind of suggest stuff. It's like it's honestly very, very involved. Like a lot of times there's we have a lot of funny ideas that just don't quite make it. And usually when an idea does work, it's when a lot of people come together and kind of throw like little ingredients into it. You know, oh, what if the ears were like this? What if they did this what if they ate these kinds of things? Like there's a lot of little pieces that make up a really good design. So yeah, we're all kind of working together and thinking about it together.
Something I was wondering, did you ever consider what would happen if you made a sequel and you couldn't do the full Beastie decks?
Oh. We're gonna try not to worry about that yet. Like our goal is just to make a game so good that it needs no sequel.
Excellent. I kind of expect that, but it's just like, and you do play Pokemon a lot lately. Have you played Pokemon since the beginning, or?
I played every Pokemon game, and to be honest, I really do respect them. Actually, especially after working on this game, I respect so much more some of the decisions that they made, because I recognize how challenging it is to make a game like this, and I can see how they did a lot of things, honestly, I think very, very smart. Even in I know there's a lot of things that in the new games that people aren't excited about, but I think that they are doing a really smart job of making the kind of game that they're making. We're just going to make our own thing that has a totally different focus in it. And yeah.
Oh, that's good to know. Like, definitely when you take a closer look at something and can appreciate what they go through, you can understand it that much more. Now, quickly back to Beastieball. After the Kickstarter, was there any feedback you received that you might have thought about how to do things a little bit differently, or moving forward, or just happy that a positive reception?
In general, the feedback was immensely positive, which is really, really great. I think the one thing which we actually did respond to, a lot of people didn't love some of the human character designs, and so we actually hired a new artist who's doing all the human character art now. She's standing over there. But yeah, I mean, the thing is just that our team is so small, and the creatures looked so good because they were done by a whole team of people, whereas I was the one doing all of the human character art, plus the environment art, the programming, the story, direction, yada yada, and I was just not giving it the time it deserved. So we put a lot more effort into that, and now I would think the game looks so much better now, and still feels like the world that we want, the characters we want. So that's the one thing we changed, but in general, no one really was trying to muck with it. Everyone's like, I love what you're doing, please just finish this game so we can play it, which is really nice to hear.
You biked from Philadelphia to San Francisco. Have you done anything amazing like that lately?
No, I've done nothing amazing. I'm just sitting in my room making video games. I was cool once, and that was enough for me. I'm done with that now.
Well, arguably, that's harder than biking across the country, but...
Honestly, it is. It is way harder.
Well, Greg, any final thoughts you'd like to say about Beastieball, or any things you're looking forward to moving forward after PAX, or any places people can follow Beastieball you'd like to mention?
Yeah, so we're online at beastieballgame.com. We're also on Blue Sky and Instagram and Twitter at Beastieball. So you can find us on there. We've got a monthly newsletter with dev updates. Yeah, I'll leave it there. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you, Greg, so much for your time. I'm really looking forward to Beastieball when it comes out. Congratulations.
Thank you.